بالهادي النبي محمد الله هب لي شفاعته بيوم جزائي.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب إله العالمين سيدنا ونبينا وقائد مسيرتنا العبد المؤيد والرسول المسدد المصطفى الأمجد أبي القاسم محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المكرمين الغرر الميامين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. لا سيما سيدي ومولاي بقية الله في الأراضين، روحي وأرواح العالمين له الفدا، واللعنة على أعدائهم أجمعين إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد، قال الله تعالى في محكم كتابه الكريم وقوله الحق وهو أصدق الصادقين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. فلما جاء سليمان قال أتمدونني بمال فما آتاني الله خير مما آتاكم بل أنتم بهديتكم تفرحون ارجع إليهم فلنأتينهم بجنود لا قبل لهم بها ولنخرجنهم منها أذلة وهم صاغرون. صدق الله العلي العظيم. In the name of Allah, the gracious, the most merciful, may the peace and the blessings of the Almighty Allah be with and amongst all the prophets and messengers, including the last and the beloved, Muhammad and his honorable and dignified and purified progeny. Respected brothers and sisters, I greet you with the Islamic universal greeting of peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And welcome back to another episode of your program, A Closer Look into the Glorious Book, where we have been examining the life of the Prophet Sulaiman salamullahi alayhi. After, of course, examining the life of several prophets, including Adam, Hud, Salih, Idris, Dawood, and others. The Prophet Sulaiman's story is a story full of details, is a story full of lessons, is a story for those who seek the ayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Therefore, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Almighty, to give us the honor and the privilege to be one of those who read the story of the Prophet Sulaiman, understand his story, and to follow him and to follow his footsteps, and to apply those lessons and incorporate them in our day-to-day lives. Ameen. Rabbal Alameen. The story of the Prophet Sulaiman, as you all remember, in this chapter began with his encounter with the ant, then his encounter with the hudhud, the peacock, then his letter to the Queen of Sheba. And after sending his letter to the Queen of Sheba said that she was going to test the Prophet Sulaiman, since he claims that he is a prophet sent by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This queen asked the people, she said, what do you recommend? She asked her nobles, she asked her men, what do you recommend? And how do you recommend I go about facing Sulaiman? So they told her that we are men of power, we are men of skill in war. Let us go to war with this guy, let us stand against him. But in the end they also told her that we're submissive towards what you decide. This queen, like I mentioned many times before, is a very wise queen. She is praised by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Holy Qur'an. And inshallah, as we hear, and we read further in the story of this lady, we realize that she was not an ordinary woman. She was a very wise female that was able to rule this kingdom and was able to take power and charge while she was ruling the kingdom. Therefore she said, I will test Sulaiman. I will send him 1,000 slaves. And I will put the clothes of the woman on the men and the men on the woman. Meaning the men will look like women and the women will look like men. If Sulaiman accepted the 1,000 slaves, that means he's okay with this gesture of men and women wearing different clothes. Meaning the gesture of homosexuality. Therefore, I will realize that he is not connected to the divine. Thus, I am just testing the waters now. But if he was connected with the divine, and I am sending people to go and see what he has, I will realize that he is truly a prophet of God and that he has not lied to me. So the caravan takes off all the way from Yemen, all the way from Sheba, and goes towards Damascus. Goes towards the Prophet Sulaiman salamullahi alayhi, and reaches the Prophet Sulaiman. When they reach the Prophet Sulaiman, of course, they're thinking that Sulaiman, all those gifts are going to make him happy, they're going to be delighted. Then probably Sulaiman is going to treat them for a lunch and a dinner and send back gifts to the Queen of Sheba. And you know, diplomacy and how diplomacy works. And there was a mastermind behind this whole gift. There was a leader that was sent also to represent the queen and to represent presenting the presents. That was also there. فَلَمَّا جَاءَ سُلَيْمَانَ. جَاءَ goes back to this representative. When the representative reached Sulaiman, Sulaiman stated, قَالَ أَتُمِدُّونَنِي بِمَالٍ. Are you bribing me with wealth? You people are foolish. Look at my kingdom. Look at what I have. Look at my power. Look at my majesty. You're giving me wealth. You're giving me 1,000 slaves. Then he further on explained to them why he was upset. فَمَا آتَانِيَ اللَّهُ خَيْرٌ مِمَّا آتَاكُمْ. What Allah has given me is much more worthy and much more superior and much more dignified than what you have. What do you have? You have wealth. I have iman. I have taqwa. I have piety. I have righteousness. I am a prophet of God. And this is what Sulaiman was referring to. I know Allah, at least I don't fall and bow and prostrate towards the sun. I know my Lord. بَلْ أَنْتُمْ بِهَدِيَّتِكُمْ تَفْرَحُونَ. The ulama have given two explanations for this part. That you are happy with your gifts. Number one, he told this guy, he told him, you are happy with what you've brought me. You think that I was going to get bribed. You think I was going to say, let's forget that Sheba and its people worship the sun. Since they've sent me 1,000 slaves, I'm going to forgive them. I'm going to be indifferent towards this and we'll create good ties. Another set of Mufassirin have stated, no. What Sulaiman is trying to say is, if I were to give you such gift with 1,000 slaves, you would fall for this. You would receive the bribe, but I don't. Then he tells him, ارجع إليهم. Now I want you to go back to them. فَلَنَأْتِيَنَّهُمْ. Go back. Sulaiman is not a coward. Sulaiman doesn't want to backstab them. Sulaiman doesn't want to act foolish. Sulaiman is a man of principles. Sulaiman is a prophet of God. Therefore he sends them back. ارجع إليهم. Go back to them. He did not hurt him. He did not harass him. He did not kill him. He did not take his gifts away and send him back. He said, take the gifts, safe and sound with all due respect, and go back. ارجع إليهم. And give this message to your queen. فَلَنَأْتِيَنَّهُمْ بِجُنُودٍ. Will come back. Let those guys that said that they are skillful in battle and they have power to stop me and stand against my army. فَلَنَأْتِيَنَّهُمْ بِجُنُودٍ لَا قِبَلَ لَهُمْ بِهَا. Will come upon them with soldiers that they could not even imagine. An army that they have never seen before. Troops that will demolish them. No one can stand against my army. I have human beings, humans, that you have. But mine are much more greater in number and much more powerful and skillful. I have jinn, the unseen soldiers. Imagine you're in battle with soldiers you can't see, and they're striking you from everywhere. And I have the birds to serve me. Imagine you're being mass murdered by human soldiers and by soldiers you cannot see, and birds from above are striking you above your head with weapons. Who can stand against this army? وَلَنُخْرِجَنَّهُمْ. And we will drive them and expel them out of their homes. مِنْهَا. From their city. أَذِلَّةٌ وَهُمْ صَاغِرُونَ. They will be humiliated. They will be humbled indeed. Why? Because Sulaiman's message was, أَلَّا تَعْلُوا عَلَيَّ وَأَتُونِي مُسْلِمِينَ. Do not exalt yourself above me. Do not superiorize yourself above me and come to me as Muslims. Be submissive towards Allah. They had arrogance. They didn't want to become Muslim. They had arrogance. They were full of pride. They were full of arrogance. Therefore, he's saying, I will take that arrogance away from you. I will humble you. I will take you out of your mansions. I will take you out of your palaces. I will take you out of your comfort zone. And I will disgrace you if you don't submit to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if you do not become respectful towards the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أَذِلَّةً وَهُمْ صَاغِرُونَ. Now we said the queen wanted to test the people, wanted to test Sulaiman, whether Sulaiman accepts the gifts or does not accept the gift. Is Sulaiman a prophet or Sulaiman not a prophet? What happened here? Sulaiman passed the test. He did not accept the gifts. He did not like the gifts. He did not like the bribe. He sent them back to the Queen of Sheba. The Queen of Sheba heard the news. She said, tell me what you saw. They explained to her. She said, we saw a kingdom, power. This guy, no one can beat him. You could not stand against his army. And they explained to her in details of what they saw. And they said that we know he is connected with Allah. We know he's connected with the divine. We know his power is not just ordinary power. He does have the power. So the Queen of Sheba decided that the best way to face this problem is if she takes off from Sheba, from Yemen, and she goes towards Damascus to meet this king, to meet this prophet of Allah, and to sit and negotiate with him one-on-one. Now this lady was anxious, and she knew Sulaiman is merciful. She knew in the end of the day, Sulaiman won't take her there and hurt her and harass her. She's going on a diplomatic visit, and Sulaiman was going to respect that. So she decided that she's going to go with the advisors and with the head of the states to visit Sulaiman a visit. Inshallah, in the next episode, we will examine verses number 38 onwards, where Sulaiman put up a real show for this queen, and he brought her towards the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Until next time, brothers and sisters, I leave you in the hands of the Almighty and under the protection of Allah. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
يا ربي بالهادي النبي محمد الله هب لي شفاعته بيوم